Hello and welcome. Let's begin with our virtual housekeeping. Mute your mic when you're not speaking. Please have your video turned on at all times. If you want to be anonymous and keep your video off, you're more than welcome to do so. Please use your headset if possible, especially if you're in a crowded and noisy area. To ask a question, use raise hand button. Usually you will find this button on your Zoom control bar. Alternatively, you can use the chat box and ask your question as well. For high resolution of this video stream on Zoom, use the switch to shared content button on top left of your screen. With the experience that we had with Zoom, the legibility of text presented in the presentation is much clearer on a screen size of 12 inch or above. So we will appreciate if you use the 12 inch or above screen size for a legible text which you would be able to read through. Hello and welcome to you all today. My name is Vishal and this is our cohort for APMP, Association for Proposal Management Professionals, people from the industry of bid management, irrespective of their domains, and people from the business development domain are the one that follow this association. The website is apmp.org, and we are discussing the APMP Book of Knowledge. We have already covered the first knowledge area, and we will be quickly moving into our session because we have reduced our session to, or we have optimized our session to a 15-minute session. After this, we will be having a PMP session as well, which would be starting 1900 hours Qatar time, and it would be as well on Zoom. If you're in our book club WhatsApp group, you will get the registration link, and for people who are in Zoom at the moment, who have joined us on Zoom, I'm sharing the link of registration just in case if you want to study with us the PMP book as well, Book of Knowledge. Okay, so we are at session number 10. This is the 10th session for us today. Okay, and we have already covered, there are 7 knowledge areas overall. Okay, and we have already covered understanding business development. We read in this understanding business development I would keep looking away from the screen because we are live streaming on LinkedIn, we are live streaming on YouTube and on Facebook, and I have various screens set up besides me here to tell me if any of the audience over there have a question besides the Zoom audience, which is directly in front of on my screen. So in understanding business development, we understood the processes that are prescribed. These are not mandatory. Now, incidentally, if your company is going for an ISO certification as well, which would be let's say a certification for 9001, for example, you would be as well doing the same steps as you were doing in APMP, just to identify what is the objective of your organization, what do you want to achieve as an organization. An organization is not the brick and mortar or the building that you walk into every day. It's the people all together who walk into that building and make the culture of the organization, and of course move towards a common goal of the organization, of course set up by the structure of a pyramid, organizational structure, and so on and so forth. So we understood how an organization or in the business development life cycle, how does an organization start from a fresh, from an unknown position, and they go to a favored position. They gradually improve themselves into an improved position, and how what is the kind of research that they put in as far as the program, as far as it is required of the understanding of the customer, and of course providing solutions. So we saw those things. Now we are on these focus on customer as far as the compliance and responsiveness of the bid is concerned. This part we have already covered in our previous sessions. We would be moving to the section that we'll be looking at today is the customer analysis and the competitor intelligence. So customer analysis and competitor intelligence, as the word says, you will analyze your customer, you will understand who are the kingmakers. And now as far as an organization is concerned, every person in the organization, starting from the office boy till the top-notch position, whatever is there, does actually help in finding out the insights of an organization, and that is what it means over here. It's the known and unknown pain areas of your organization, and it's called customer intelligence for a reason, because it is you understanding as a seller, understanding the customer needs which are spoken. Perhaps they have put forward a document as a bid, and then there are some unspoken needs as well, which perhaps due to statutory requirement they might not be able to put it up, or for some other reasons it's too embarrassing for them to admit openly that they do not have a solution with them for a certain problem. So, and they would be looking for contractors who can actually skillfully have these knowledge, can understand them, and of course can execute the work for them. So that's the customer intelligence that we are talking about, and that is what we are talking about when it comes to customer analysis. So you need to know in the organization who are the kingmakers, who are the kings. Now the kings are in an organization as well. Everyone is not the king. There are people who have power without being given the power to them. People who have labels with them, who have positions with them, do not have that much of power as compared to people who do not have these the power with them and labels and titles with them. They still command a lot of respect and a lot of value for their word. So we need to find out. That's one of the customer intelligence that we need to do, or analysis that we need to do. Who are the kingmakers? Who are the kings? And of course the kingmakers themselves have a huge network of people out there. Sometimes it's very loosely called office politics, but that is also one of the term, or one of the organism, I would say, which is used actually to move things into the direction of organization goal, and that is what is paramount. If the so-called office politics is helping to achieve the organization goal, all is fair and well. The moment you will start finding there are individual goals and people are trying to push those goals, problems will start. Problem will start coming in. So we do not need to, when we are getting the customer intelligence or analysis, we need to keep away from those group of people. We need to identify them very carefully, and salespeople and business development people are very skillful in getting these information out, and they know who are the kingmakers, and that is where their analysis comes in place. So it's very important to gather the customer intelligence, because you would know that if you know that usually the bids are released out by the engineering department, or for that matter in some of the organization, even the procurement department as well. Most of the time it's a balance of procurement and bid, engineering department. If they are doing a front-end design, of course it will be an engineering department, otherwise a procurement department who is helped by the engineering department to float the bid would be coming out and floating out the bid. So at that point, at that juncture, it is before even the tender comes out. If you have the information and if you have the knowledge as a bidder, that who are the ones who are the kingmakers in this bid, because this bid has come out because there was a key pain area of the client at some point, and that pain area is not being taken care of. Okay, now this pain can be a statutory requirement. This pain can be a business process simplification. Okay, there are too many forms to fill up just to get one approval. If somebody has to buy a pen and they have 10-20 forms, maybe there is a repetition of work, maybe that simplification is required. So this is a pain area, and that pain area would be of only a certain individual or a department. So once you are aware that your bid is important for these people, you can always go ahead and start targeting, and of course making sure that your bid that you are bidding, you word your bid in a way that they are aware that what they are getting. I mean, the moment they see your bid, they will say, yeah, this guy is connecting with us. As simple as that. So then understand the importance of gathering the competitive intelligence. Now you will not be the alone who will be doing all these gimmicks to find out about the customer. There will be other people as well. So how to what is the importance for them? We will look all these one by one in details in coming session. Foster information sharing among all members of your extended organization. Now that's a very important thing. There are people in the organization who are silos of information and would not bulge out the information out. Perhaps they need to be buttered at time, or their ego needs to be polished at times to get this information out. So giving this information out should be more fluent and frequent, and should be transparent. Of course, it should be on need to know basis only. It should not be just giving out information just like that. And of course, leverage public sources of customer analysis and competitor intelligence data. For example, if they are giving shares, how many shares they have given out, they release their balance sheet out. That of course also helps out, that if the customer is asking for a certain requirement, can they even afford this solution? Okay, because putting up a solution together and bidding for that solution is also a costly process. And you bid, as we saw in our the previous chapter section, that if you have when you're doing a bid no bid, and if you have an analysis, you do a bid no bid analysis, and if you have 90% and more possibility of winning a bid, then only you should go ahead with the bid. And that's just a recommendation. At times your organization may choose to do these bids no matter what, because it's a requirement, no matter because they want to explore into a new field. So that is when they are in the unknown position as far as the business development life cycle is concerned. They are not known in the field, so they want to make a mark in the industry. Use a bidder comparison matrix to identify your key competitors' strengths and weaknesses. Very important. It's a fancy line which is more or less saying do a SWOT analysis of your competitor. So with that, we have come to the end of our allocated time today. You have been a very awesome audience. Thank you for joining in today. Up until next week, take care of yourself. And if you have any questions, please feel free to join our WhatsApp group. The logo or the QR code would be at the end of the session. On the bottom right, there will be a QR code. You can open up your WhatsApp camera and join us. And in another 15 minutes, we will be starting our PMP cohort as well. Up until next week, goodbye.